The PRC in St. Louis has been committed to helping to improve the health of residents in Southeast Missouri for over 15 years now. In 2010, we used a regional approach to engage community partners from 12 counties who came together to identify key health concerns in the region and discuss evidence-based strategies to address those concerns. One of the results of that meeting in 2010 was the identification of community gardens as one of the focus areas for the Healthier Mo project. The work that we're doing through Healthier Mo to improve physical activity and healthy eating at the local level is not only increasing access to fruits and vegetables by improving existing gardens and creating new gardens, we're also bringing community partners, residents, and resources together to make environmental changes that make for healthier communities.
I think the goals for our garden here and a Healthier Mo is to expose people to gardening and a healthier lifestyle through gardening. I think that healthy lifestyle includes not only being more aware of eating healthy foods and how to grow healthy foods, but also I think that it is a spiritually healthy thing to do.
The whole ideal of this organization is to get people out of the apartments for mental part plus physical, exercise. And not only that, get to meet your neighbor. A lot of these housing projects, I'm sure you've run into it in the St. Louis area, in different towns, they don't know the person who lives next door to them.
Well, actually, like I said, to continue to feed the community, especially those who are, in a condition of maybe not complete poverty, but who maybe not have food for the complete month, and also to help to build up the nutrition for the community. As a matter of fact, this year, personally myself, as well as some of the other members of the church, have become more thoughtful about our health. And so it's definitely helping us as far as health is concerned.
It's to reduce our food bill. It's to make sure we have good, clean food and also have something to share. The garden makes that possible.
Well, the senior citizens, a lot of your senior citizens will go out and they'll sign up on food stamps. Well, they're lucky if they get $20 a month. This will help supplement their budget, food budgets. I mean, if you can get, say, 3 tomatoes out of the garden, that's 3 you don't have to go downtown and spend your cash money on, which senior citizens, I don't know if you've been involved with them, a lot of them got high medical and stuff like this, that money can go elsewhere.
Right.
So.
And so what do you do with all of the produce you grow in the gardens?
We pretty well divide it up amongst the people that's involved with it, and some of the people that, that's handicapped that can't get out, then, we provide for them. If there's any surplus, it goes to the Shannon County Food Pantry.
Very
And
cool.
then there's always been a tradition here in the area, that people who have big gardens at their own homes or on their farms, they bring the produce to places like the hospital and the nursing home, the nutrition center. They supply all of them free of charge, and they bring it around to their churches, and people can pick up, what they need in the back of church if they come on Sundays. So, there's just a lot that people give away from what they grow too.
That's really great.
So I think this enhances a tradition that was always here in the community, but it's nice to have it all in one place and make a community project out of it too. The social part of it has been really nice.
God supply us, and we supply them.
But as far as my own vegetable consumption, I always eat vegetables and fruit. But I think that for some, especially like the youth at the church, I think the fact that they can come out and pick it and then eat it has increased their fruit consumption. I think it really has.
You just kind of started learning. We didn't know absolutely anything about gardening, and we've learned a pretty good amount now.
Cool. What have you learned?
Still got a lot to learn. We've learned different kinds of plants and how you plant them, and vegetables, all that stuff.
I know a lot more people. When I first got here, I didn't know nobody here in Sykeston. I got introduced to my pastor Harris, and he started to introduce me to different people that he know. Yeah, I feel that, at least I know, I've got to know a lot of great people here in Sykeston.
And it's a way to socialize, get people out of their houses, get some exercise, and not even if they just pull weeds or whatever. And some of them are a little elderly, like our 85-year-old woman. But she gets out here and holds the weeds just like the rest of us.
We share, so yes, it really helps the budget. I've already had cucumbers from my sister's garden, and when we have more tomatoes, we share with the ones that don't have as many, and it helps a lot because produce is very expensive.
It keeps me out of the grocery store for one thing, and I just like doing it.
Well, when we originally wanted to put in this community garden, I went to Mayor Larry Ponder and I said, do you think we could put up some raised beds and garden down there? He said, oh, that'll never work. Nobody will take care of them. They'll grow up with weeds, but whatever. You go on down there and you put up a couple of beds and we'll see how it worked. Well, by the end of last year, when we had gardeners asking for beds and didn't have enough beds for them, he said to me, put up as many as you want.
That's nice. Can you talk a little bit about the partnership with the city and what the city has provided in their role?
The city has been wonderful. They're letting us use this land. They put the weatherproof water things on each corner, and they move these picnic tables here in the summer, and they bring the mulch in from the mill that we use on the paths, and they brought in compost. They have a compost place where they take cuttings from yards and stuff, and they brought in a bunch of that last year. We haven't gotten any of that this year, but they've been just very supportive, very supportive.
We have several other of the farm stores in town that give discounts to gardeners. We have a little card that each gardener gets to show that they're part of the community garden, and so they'll get a discount on what they buy there.
We have people on the committee from the university, Missouri State University. We've also had kids I know come in and work in the plots and help. So that's been great. And we've also kind of been able to branch out. I know where my boys go to school, or just finished the 8th grade at Glenwood School. They were interested in a community garden, so they kind of got with us to get some help, and we donated quite a bit of dirt and mulch and things to them too. So they've been able to start a community garden at their school, which is great.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
So, and the Head Start, you want to tell them about that? Yeah, that's been a really good partnership.
During the winter months, Glenn, who's the vice chairman of the organization, he and I went over to Head Start, and we taught preschool children how to plant a seed and what it meant. And then they have garden plots outside, which we helped them rebuild this year. They have a new building, so it's all been reestablished. We're hoping that if we can grow them from 4 years on up, they'll be growing something for life.
Nice.
And, some people have done a lot, some people have done a little. Everybody has done something. And without that contribution, we wouldn't be where we're at now. It's been a wonderful experience.
We would like to get more people involved. We would like to make it twice this size. The city's cooperated with us, letting them use their fire hydrant and stuff like that, for a water source. And the community is basically behind us, for us.
That's
and
great.
I think that as this goes along and more people know about it, I believe that you're going to see a lot more community involvement.
That's great.
My difference is next year I plan on sending a letter to all the churches inviting their gardeners to come alongside us and sharing this.
Awesome.
Also, I'm going to contact the extension agency. In fact, I just left the extension agent and talking to him about it, and he's been sneaking by looking at our garden too. I didn't know it.
Yeah, we got to get the young people. We've got the older folks involved in it, and many of them have done this for years on their own, you know. But we need to get the younger people involved in it too, and learn some of the things, you know, that their elders already know. Well, one thing, we have a domestic violence shelter too, our organization sponsors, and they have a raised garden there, and we were going to make that an extension of the gardens down here. But they thought for the first year of trying this out, they were a little bit concerned that they wouldn't be able to record all of their produce, you know, as we're trying to do at these gardens. And they were a little afraid of the bookkeeping process this year. So I think by next year we may be able to talk about that again.
Sure. Well, it's a land and water conservation grant, and we kind of worked between us and the extension office. We had a group called SCOCOG, and they wrote the grant for us. The city got involved. We were funded, and so we're going to be able to put in a walking trail. We're going to actually have a pavilion, picnic tables, and then an outdoor little staged area for music, because the park is actually named after Don Warden, who is from this area, and he was a big country music, I guess, personality star. So
I will say that this has been a process, a work in progress, and a process, but it has finally been. The results are coming out now, and the outcome is wonderful. And it wasn't easy to start with, but as we all grew together with this new regional approach, it's been wonderful. Now I can see so many bridges and challenges that we have crossed that we don't have to keep on crossing, and so it's great that we have reached this point.
The strengthening of these partnerships will ensure that the work that we're doing with communities will continue. Future plans include evaluating the effects and documenting the impact of existing behaviors, health, and people's ability to buy food. We also want to continue working with our community partners to build and strengthen new and existing relationships. And then we look forward to sharing what we're learning with others working in rural communities.